What's going on, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the debut album from the band Scatorgy, entitled Scatorgy. This is released on New Standard Elite. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they're based out of Hull, England of the United Kingdom, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very fast-paced, disgusting style of brutal death metal with some death grind elements thrown in there too. I mean, if you think of bands like Brodakeen or Guttural Secrete, you would have the idea of what Scatorgy is all about. My first time hearing about this band was through the New Standard Elite YouTube channel. Because normally what they do is they leave you a teaser of who they just recently signed, and when I first heard the little snippet of this band, I was pretty much mesmerized. And by the way, if you don't know what New Standard Elite is, it's a newly run brutal death metal record label run by a guy by the name of Dan Osborne. He plays the drums for a really awesome death metal band called Inherit Disease. And a couple of years ago, he founded this label, and he's pretty much been active getting new bands out there to the masses for everybody to hear. When I think of this label, I think of some of the earlier signings like Aberration and Iniquitous Deeds and Secreted Entity, just to name a few. But as of lately, he's been on a more international tear, getting bands from all over Europe and across the world. I mean, bands like Abhorrent Castigation from Germany, Laceration from the United Kingdom, Seminal Embalmment from Australia, and the band that I'm about to talk to you about now, Scatorgy from the United Kingdom. After listening to this album a couple of times, I really wasn't sure whether to refer to this as either an EP or a full length, because it's only 9 tracks long and it runs around 20 minutes in length. I did the best research I possibly could, and at the end of the day, I'm just going to call this a full-length album, so I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, onto this album. Once you listen to this, you'll wish that it didn't end as soon as it did. Because if you happen to look past the crazy, nasty, and brilliant artwork of this album, you'll find some of the most tightly knit, crazy, and absurdly brutal death metal you'll find on any kind of debut release in 2013. This is some incredibly impressive stuff, and it only makes me wonder what is going to be next for this band. This is a band that deserves to be heard, and if you're a brutal death metal fan, you'll find something to love about this band. I absolutely love the way the music flows throughout this entire record, because pretty much every single song is fast-paced and moves at a great speed. The guitars on this album really help make that sound really good. I just love how crazy and distorted the guitar sound. It's just absolutely crazy, even to moments where you hear riffs that you wouldn't expect to hear on songs, like on the track Coagulate. I want to say halfway towards the song, there's some pretty crazy sounding riffs going on with that track, to even songs like Defecation. Just the way the guitars sound on those tracks are just absolutely mesmerizing. I really love the guitar style that this band has to offer. And the bass sounds really solid too, very audible and clear. There are moments where it gets quiet down and you hear the bass on its own just a little bit. It's not overly dominating like the guitar is on this record, but still from what you hear of it, it sounds pretty damn solid. I'm really stoked on that. Now we get to the drums. The drums are just absolutely over the top and all over the place. There is so much craziness going on with the drums. You hear helicopter-like double bass. You hear constant blast beats and drum fills, lots of gravities, all done in the kind of way you would expect on a brutal death metal record. The snare sound is very loud, but I think for what this band sets out to do, I think it sounds great. It sounds disgusting. I love this drumming style. It's fast, it's absurd, it's over the top, and I think it's meant to be that way. It's just brilliant. Brilliant drum work going on here. So fast-paced, you can't even catch up with it. And the vocals are another thing to pay attention to with this record. I mean, the vocals have a very low, gurgling kind of effect to them. Very guttural. Very disgusting sounding vocals. Toilet bowl vocals, if you want to use that expression. I know some folks wouldn't be so fond of that, but that's the kind of vibe you get when you listen to Scatorgy. Just very guttural, low end, bottom end kind of vocals. The mid-ranged, high kind of screams and gutturals are just absolutely sick. I love that a lot. And I especially love the vocal patterns that are on the track Separation, which basically is a collaborative track which features Hamish from Laceration and Brian Ford from Syphilic. Once you get acquainted with their vocal styles, it's pretty damn fun and very crazy to listen to. But yeah, like I said earlier, I wish this album didn't end so soon. I wish it wasn't this short, but I get what this band's style is all about. They're quick, they're fast-paced, they're to the point, they don't slack off or mess around. That's what Scatorgy does. And I really wish I would have wanted to know what this vocalist was saying. I wish there was lyrics in this sheet thing, but oh well, what can you do? It's absolutely awesome stuff. So overall, this is an extremely impressive piece of brutal death metal. If you're a fan of any of the bands that I mentioned, like Guttural Secrete or Brodakeen, Scatorgy is definitely the band for you to check out. This is amazing stuff, and I cannot recommend this enough to anybody who listens to brutal death metal, if that is your thing, by the way. If I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Smothered, Coagulate, Defecation, and the track Separation. So I'm going to leave you a link in the description box to the new Standard Elite website where you can purchase this, buy it, hear it for yourself, pick this up however you're able to. But yeah, this is a band to definitely check out and support if you like brutal death metal. So I'm going to show you the album again. This is a self-titled album by Scatorgy. This is released on New Standard Elite. Support this band, and I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. Really impressive brutal death metal from the UK. Support Scatorgy. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel, and until the next time, Armijo out.